Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. This,
The new Maibatsu MonstroCiti. Mine is bigger.
and I'm about to find out if it'll off-road. That's right, Will It Off-Road is back, episode number 201, kicking off the San Andreas Mercenaries DLC season of Will It Off-Road, also known as one of the most disappointing DLCs in GTA Online history. It's true. It's absolutely true. And you may have noticed that, yes, I have used a bit of the ad from GTA 3. A younger Brandon, like many of us in our youth, playing GTA 3, believed that the monstrosity was in the game, and we looked for it. I went so far as to stop like every SUV I saw just to make sure it wasn't the monstrosity. Can't tell you how many Landstalkers I got in. And none of them worked, and I was disappointed. I was expecting this big, massive thing. The only thing that I can think of, and this is my theory, is, because cars only get bigger over the years. This is based on, like, what, an early 2000 Mitsubishi something or other. The Evo version of it. A badass off-road. So that, cars get bigger over time, but that was back around the time GTA was out. This car was new, I think. So I don't know, maybe this was big for an SUV back then? I can't remember. I mean, who can remember last week, let alone, 97 years ago when GTA 3 was out? I don't know, when did GTA 3 come out? I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. I might put it on screen, but probably not because I can't be bothered to go Google it. But if that's not the case, that this was a big SUV, well, maybe it's in the name. Maybe there were two monstrosities, one spelled like the regular spelling of monstrosity, and then this one with the CITI, city. And city cars are small cars. So maybe Maibatsu made two monstrosities. The big one that could ford rivers, even though you're only going to hit a puddle. And then they made a city version, a smaller little two-door. I don't know. Either way, it's nowhere near as big as I expected. However, it's very capable off-road, as you can tell, because it's getting up the mountain in a very, very solid time. Not struggling really anywhere. We will have some struggles later, but going up the mountain is not the place, except for right there. I went a little wide and struggled with the grip. But we are up in 2 minutes, 23 seconds. So, will it off-road? Yeah, it did absolutely fine. No problems at all. In fact, it turned in a pretty good time. It's very capable off-road and saved us a whole lot of time.
With the time I save taking shortcuts through the strip mall parking lot, I can focus on the important things, like gazing longingly at the pool boy or buying more exercise equipment off the TV.
And, gazing longingly at the pool boy is a very important pastime. As is dodging your friends as you're trying to go down the mountain. Speaking of going down, the monstrosity doesn't have the most solid brakes, and that's going to get us into a little bit of trouble as I couldn't quite stop. And yeah, there we go. Premature damage descent. But that gives us a moment to talk about how much time we saved so that we can go stare at the pool boy. It is 7th out of 389 vehicles overall. It is 0.03, so 300ths of a second slower than the Vainglorious Sport, which, if I'm not mistaken, is no longer available for purchase. So, hey, it may as well be 6th overall. You Rockstar. And it is 0.3 of a second faster than the Manches Scout C. Isn't the Manches also Maibatsu? I believe it is. In terms of off-road vehicles, it's 3rd out of 38. It is 0.43 seconds slower than a Vagrant and 0.98, so basically a second faster than the Outlaw. So not too shabby, getting up there into the top 3 of the off-road and in the top 10. What's really interesting is, we mentioned that it's just 0.03 of a second slower. There's only one of me talking. Anyways, I mentioned that it's 0.03 of a second slower than the Vainglorious Sport. And for the longest time, the Vainglorious Sport held the record for World Offroad. It was the #1 vehicle. And then, you know, some other things came along, like, you know, I don't know, because I can't see the spreadsheet at this particular moment, but there were things, trust me, there were definitely things. Things, you know, like the Vagrant, the Shinobi, the Reaver, and the Drogger. I found my spreadsheet. It was on a different tab. But hey, we got there in the end, and that's all that really matters, right? Sure it is. Yeah, definitely the short wheelbase does cause a bit of a struggle. Just like, it wants to spin, especially over bumps, and roll over occasionally as the British Brandon just demonstrated. By the way, Raven, thank you for being a channel supporter. I greatly appreciate it, and we'll talk about one of the perks that my friend Raven there, his name's Brandon as well. He's the British Brandon. We'll talk about the perks he gets in just a little bit, but not right now, because we're gonna do other things right now, like nearly run over donkey. They all managed to get down the mountain while I was having my little premature damage ascent, so they decided to wait. It was kind of cool though, driving in between everybody, just parked there along the side. I gotta admit, I like the imagery of it, the scene that it painted. I thought it was kind of cool. Oof. Oh, and I nearly squished Donkey's head, but we are down 6 minutes, 36 seconds. So we're gonna head back to the top of Mount Chiliad and fling it off the side.
It's so big. We lost little Joey in the back and couldn't find him for an hour.
I don't think it's the size of the vehicle. I mean, we've already talked about that. I think it's the fact that there's 2 spare tires back there. Little Joey was hanging out between the 2 tires, and they just didn't look. Had they accidentally fell off a mountain earlier and had the tailgate come off, they would have found little Joey much, much quicker. But because the tailgate was there, and, you know, clearly this is not a mother that can be bothered to open a tailgate, they couldn't find poor little Joey. Lost for an hour in the back of a small monstrosity. How embarrassing for little Joey, honestly, that his parents are so inept they couldn't find him in that. I mean, that's where he was lost. Look, it's right there. Look at it. Yeah, well, you can't look at it now, so I'm flying through the air. But yeah, it's kind of sad. But hey, you know what? At least I got to finally use the MonstroCiti ads in a video. I've wanted to use GTA 3 stuff in a video for a long time and just never had the opportunity. By the way, I wasn't intentionally going slow, though. The engine was just dead. The car wouldn't go for a minute. That happens in the game. Sometimes you hit stuff hard enough that the car just kind of takes a minute to realize, oh yeah, I have a thing that creates little miniature explosions and turns that energy into forward momentum through lots of gearing. Tried to get over the wood pile. I failed getting over the wood pile. Looks like a lot of other people did too. I nearly got taken down. We're down 1 minute, 28 seconds, almost 29. Take a look at the damage on the MonstroCiti, and it's most of the lights, all the windows, all the doors, the fenders, and the bumpers are all missing. It has some slight body damage. There is a teeny tiny little bit of damage model. Good job, Rockstar. And we have bent wheels. And of course, that means we have to take a look at our support vehicles. Pretty consistently imports, except for, you know, one. No, that's an import too. No, my bad. It is. But that brings us to our next vehicle. The Vapid Ratel, or Ratel. You can say it either way. They're both correct. And fun fact, right before recording this voiceover, I discovered that Ratel, it's more Ratel. Yeah, Ratel, not Rattle. The Ratel, by the way, love their starting position on the roof. Chef's kiss. Or the Ratel, however you would like to say it, is another name for the honey badger. What? I love Rockstar sometimes. Right now, I absolutely hate and loathe Rockstar because they're being a bunch of just greedy dickholes. 180 some odd cars. Really, Rockstar? And putting it behind a... Okay, stop, Brendan. Calm down. Take a breath. Okay, anyways. Honey badger. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, you guys remember the meme, right? You didn't see my face there. It's just this straight face. But you know what? The Ratel doesn't give shit. Ratel doesn't care. It just doesn't. It'll climb a mountain. Whatever. It'll jump, make that little jump right there. Doesn't care. Doesn't care one bit whatsoever. You know, it's really pretty badass, one could say. Yeah, sure. You guys, like, that was an old meme, the Honey Badger Don't Care meme. That thing is... I like, what was that, like 2007, 2008? No, probably more like 2010, so that's like a 13-year-old meme. Back when memes still actually had some effort being put into them. It was a very long meme, too. It's like a 3-minute long meme. You know, it's just a comedy video. If you haven't seen it, Google Honey Badger Don't Care. It's pretty entertaining. And if you have seen it and hated it, well, I would apologize for bringing it up again, but it's funny. So, yeah. Anyway. But this thing is pretty good off-road. It is only rear-wheel drive, which is fine. It's, you know, lightweight. Ooh, hiker down. But I do think if it would be all-wheel drive, we probably could have seen it in a better position than it winds up getting. But, you know, the Ratel, it's fine with whatever position it gets. It doesn't care. It doesn't give a shit. I've been thinking of all these different ways to incorporate that meme ever since I looked at it. That's really just the one that goes over and over again. We're at 2 minutes, 25 seconds, so will it off-road? Ding. Yes. Yes, it will. It absolutely will. I wish I could read my own handwriting sometimes, because I had other things from the meme written down that I wanted to say, and I can't read them. I kid you not. So, in terms of position, it is 10th overall out of 389. It is 1.7 seconds. Let's try that sentence again. It is 1.7 seconds slower than the Outlaw. It is 0.4 of a second faster than the Reinhardt. In terms of off-road, it's number 5? Yes, number 5 in off-road. Oh, I forgot to turn off notification sounds. I'm a terrible YouTuber. Of course, same distance to the Outlaw, but then in the overall list, it is 1.18 seconds faster than the Camacho that I really thought the Camacho's not in off-road. Camacho's in off-road. Oh, that's right, we are talking about off-road. My bad, I was thinking overall. Yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a very, very long, very eventful day. So you'll have to excuse me. Or don't. Just go ahead and criticize me and judge me. I don't care. Brandon doesn't give a shit. It just doesn't get old. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. But I like this truck, or buggy, or whatever it is. But it does have its disadvantages. One of them is lightweight, so that if you hit a bump just wrong, you become a little ballerina and pirouette your way down the side of the hill. That's kind of what happened. But at least it gets right back up. Despite two-wheel drive, it climbs really well. The front end wants to come up every once in a while, but it's fine. Has enough grip that it can push itself up the mountain without a whole, well, not the whole mountain, up a hill, a big hill. It did fine. You know, there, yeah. But I was just about to say, the only problem is the short wheelbase, and then it just kind of demonstrated that for me. Nearly running into Hobo. Well, I'm pretty sure it was Hobo. Definitely a bouncy trip down, but I love the articulated suspension. I like just watching it. I mean, it's kind of cool when you're driving around, just seeing the wheels and everything, just the detail of it and how they respond to bumps and drop down when one wheel leaves the ground just because it drops down underneath it, whether it's in the air, whatever. It just looks really cool. And then even that going around a corner and everything, it just, I don't know. I like little details like that. So whatever developer that worked on the Ratel, good job. And I don't blame you for the whole GTA Plus for movie car things. I know the devs don't make those decisions. Like the actual artists and the actual people who code the game, they're not the bad guys. They are not the ones that are making these decisions. They're given a list of assets, different jobs, different things to script and bring into existence in the game. And that's what they do. It's some executive somewhere who gets a hard-on every time Take-Two Interactive stock price ticks up, you know, wanting to maximize his golden parachute And that's all he cares about is the stock price. So, of course, like every company today, they want to turn everything into a subscription and make you keep on paying for something you already had. And that's exactly what Rockstar is doing in GTA, which is gross, and it's ugly, and it is a harbinger of exactly what they're going to do in GTA 6. Mark my words, and if you don't believe me, go ahead and hate on me right now in the comments. And when GTA 6 finally comes out in 2079, I will crawl out of my grave and point and laugh and say, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. I will be dead in 2079, no doubt about it. Or I would be... Wow, I just did the math of how old I would be. I'd be really old. But I will always be the world's oldest 15-year-old. Even when I have no teeth and can't hear and am wearing poopy diapers because the staff at the underpaid staff at the budget nursing home I'm in won't change my poopy diaper. You know, I will still be the world's oldest 15-year-old. Kinda over the woodpile. First time in a long time, and somebody even honked their celebratory horn for me. Yes, we're down in 1 minute 38 seconds. So let's take a look at the damage on the Ratel. Headlights, bent wheels, slight engine damage. And I like that, given that it's named after the honey badger and it just went down a mountain, that it has very insignificant damage because the Ratel doesn't care. So we're going to take a look at our support vehicles. There they are. I forgot to talk about the supporters video stuff. You guys have heard of it a lot. You get access to an ad-free, behind-the-scenes, longer, less edited version of Bullet Off-Road by supporting on Patreon, on Discord, being a member here on YouTube, or being a subscriber on Twitch. And that's it for episode number 201. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time very much. I know there's a lot out there that you can watch, and you chose to watch this and listen to me talk about ancient memes. And until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.